Friend, it is so good to see you today. Welcome to Networking Know-How. This is your once a week time to learn a few quick tips and a bonus today, how we network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty networking community, where you can 100% R&DS, aka rip off and duplicate these simple tips so that you can network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty networking community. And I said there's a bonus, so thank you for tuning in today. The bonus is we have a very special guest, and so Catherine Lang is going to be joining us. You guys are going to be so impressed with her. Prepare to be wowed, prepare to have fun, prepare to laugh, and prepare for epic energy. I'm telling you, between the two of us, it is epic energy. So I hope you're ready for it. I hope you're looking forward to it. It's going to be so good. Okay, now, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time and we have not yet met, let me introduce myself. I'm Laura Morlando, the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. And we're a virtual online community that is 100% focused on relational networking. So let me explain what relational networking is. When we get together, we typically know traditional networking. The default setting is, hi, my name is, shake my hand, exchange business cards, buy my stuff, let's exchange leads, job offers, or some kind of a promotion. But there's another way. There's another way that I have been teaching many clients and corporations for years called relational networking, where we have meaningful conversations to learn from and about someone, to have meaning and lasting and authentic conversations. So if you are thinking that transactional networking makes you feel too icky, or if you're an introvert and you're feeling this is too much of an energy spend, and you would like things in the new year of 2024, if you'd like things to be a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more purposeful, and you would like things to be a little bit better, then this is the way you're going to want to engage in 2024 when you're talking about networking, which is all about the relational networking. Because when it comes to relational networking, everything becomes easier once you engage this way. It is your professional easy button, and it's definitely what you're going to want to engage with. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today with Catherine, is we're going to hear her experience. So you don't have to just trust me. We're going to hear from her because she's an amazing networker. I met her networking online. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're really going to talk about the little known secret that you may or may not know about, but the little known secret to raise your vibrational energy while networking and the wow advantage it creates. I don't know about you, but before networking, I never used Wow Advantage and I never felt my vibrational energy skyrocket. It was a chore. It was something I dreaded, but I knew I needed to do. So if you're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just dread networking. It's like, I just don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it. Then this is the episode you're going to want to watch, because we're going to give you some simple tips to shift your energy and to really create that wow advantage. So without further ado, let me go ahead. I see some people getting up in chat. I'm so excited you're here. Meredith, thanks for watching on Facebook. She's like, truth. I appreciate that. So wherever you're watching, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from, because we love to connect with everybody on the global stage. So get up in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, and make sure that you're engaging with myself and Catherine through the discussion. We want you to be part of the discussion and the conversation, and add to the meaningfulness of it. And if you're watching on replay, get up in chat, add to the conversation, because I do respond to every single conversation. So you definitely want to get up and get involved. And so Meredith is saying hi from Facebook, and she is from the Carrollton, Texas area, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So super excited to have her here. Meredith, thanks for joining. Really appreciate you. Okay, so let me go ahead and hide this, and let's bring up Catherine. All right, welcome to the stage. Everyone get your applause. Welcome, Catherine Lang. Woohoo!
I'm so excited to be here. I'm just excited hanging out with you. That's really what excites me.
I love that, and I agree. I mean, any day I can be with Catherine Lang is a great day. And in just a little bit of background, we met online. I was trying to build an online relationship with someone that, to be honest, had clicked that they were going to our virtual sneak peek. And I was intrigued with what she was doing. And I started following her content. I started really engaging in her content. And she puts out the best things. It was aligned to me. I just very much gravitated towards it. And I met this person in the audience of some of her lives, Catherine Lang. And we just kind of hit it off and we ended up in a room together and I got to enjoy the genius, which is her. And I'd watched some of her content already. So I was already familiar with her energy and the tremendous value in her awesomeness and amazingness. But in that room, it was like lightning in a bottle between energies and everything. So I just thank you for being here and sharing that energy with us. And for those watching, the reason she's on this live, not only is she an amazing human being, and I'm just grateful to have her here, but she was an attendee of our virtual sneak peek last week. And so we have less than 5 of these a year. And so the way that this works is our community is not open and we do not have invitations on social media for everybody to join our community. The only way you can join is if you've attended a sneak peek event. And so Catherine was able to attend, and I always do a drawing for something fun with our first timers where they can earn the right to come on a live and we have an authentic relational networking conversation and you guys get to watch in real time what I'm talking about when I'm telling you about this whole relational thing. And so Catherine was our winner. So congratulations, Catherine, for winning. And so to kind of kick things off, what made you decide to attend the virtual sneak peek last week?
You invited me.
That'll always do it.
Your energy is so contagious, and I knew that anything that you were doing, I wanted to be a part of. And I was like, I've got to go see what she's talking about and see how she is investing in other people so I can be a part of it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. And that's kind of a really good networking tip to have that wow advantage. So the first secret that you're going to want to answer the question is you want to engage in relational networking, which is focusing on providing value, giving, one of our core values is provide wow and give freely. And so we structure our formats to really drop the needle on the middle of the song, as it were, if you're using an old, album reference. But we want to really have everyone treat everyone in the room as if they're their best friends. It doesn't matter if you don't know their name or you've never been introduced to them. If you treat everyone like your best friend in relational networking, it changes the game. And so, Catherine, you got to really experience that. What was kind of like your key takeaway from experiencing everybody treating everyone like best friends and engaging in more of a conversation versus a 30-second commercial or pre-planned thing to say?
This may shock you, but I have a tendency to always engage that way.
I know you do.
That is kind of my default setting. So I enjoy it. I really enjoyed the opportunity to just to talk to people and not think about how am I going to sell them or how are they going to sell me. That is the world's worst, is having to endure. I'm reading Leviticus right now, and you run into those Leviticus people that are telling you every single detail of every single thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. And all you're thinking is, I wanted an hors d'oeuvre. That's it. That's the whole reason I'm over here. So it was, one, great that didn't have to wait in line for my hors d'oeuvres, and two, that we were just having conversations and enjoying each other's company.
I love that. Thank you so much. That is a great way to put it. You just really wanted the hors d'oeuvre. You just want to get to the juicy stuff. You just want to do that. And in full transparency, I was that person. I was that person because I was told that's what networking was, and I'm obedient and I do what I'm told. And my bosses were like, this is how you do it. So that's what I did. And so, yeah, I was the annoying person where you're just like, oh, good Lord, will you please just get to it? So when it comes back at me, I realize I deserve that. That's karma. And so if you're out there thinking, I have done that, I do that, you get full grace from me.
Oh, yeah.
Zero judgment, because I was that person. But I've learned there's a better way. And what I also learned, not only is there a better way, but it feels better to do it this other way. The way that my bosses were doing it was so out of alignment with me. It felt icky. I was in high stress. It was more of that, I've got to do this thing. So if you're watching live, let me know what your overall experiences with networking. Has it been positive? Has it been great? Is it mostly transactional in the traditional sense? Or have you had the ability to really play in the relational setting? I can see a couple of our members watching. I know Meredith's a member of the Down and Dirty Networking community, so she definitely knows the difference between the two. But for you, Catherine, what made you gravitate more towards being more relationship minded and more relational networking? What was the pivot point for you?
It started when I was bringing the stray animals home in the neighborhood when I was little, and I just never stopped. So if I'm at an event, I'm bringing the strays together, and I'm making sure that they get hors d'oeuvres and that they're. I have never been to an event where people didn't think I was part of the staff, that I was running the event. I mean, we had a booth at an event, and kids were coming like they were at Lost and Found, and it just people gravitate because if you're invested in relationships and you're just invested in enjoying the journey, people are drawn to that. People want to be a part of that, and people see the confidence, because it takes confidence to walk into an event and
Mhm.
just say, "I'm here to enjoy it." Whatever comes out of it, I'm here to enjoy it, and I go to every event hoping to make 5 new connections, not to make 5 sales, not to get, I just want to meet 5 new people and build a relationship with them.
I hope people are taking notes right now, because you are dropping golden nuggets, similar things that we've said before. And for the record, we didn't prep. Like, these are the questions that I'm going to ask Catherine. So I know I told her I gave her a gist of what we would talk about. I said, but don't give me your answers now, because I want to hear it organically. I want people to hear it. And if you must really know, we were having a curly girl discussion backstage.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with this. We were sharing shared brain power and experiences. So if you want to know the behind the scenes on what we talked about, drop a message, and I would be so willing to kind of give that to you. But here's the thing I want to really tie home with what Catherine is saying. I'm an introvert. I test very high introvert, which means I gain power from within, and I struggle with being shy and lack of confidence. And so when I would walk into the rooms before, I've done a lot of work on my confidence. But when I'd walk in the rooms before, I was definitely like, I was at a 7th grade dance with my back against the wall, not wanting to, like, how am I going to do this? you know, that was me. I'm like, but I know I need to do this. And so, okay, I would just, I'm not going to die, but I'll sweat profusely. Okay, just jump in. And so the shift that I made was what you just talked about. Is I realized, you know what, if you were coming to my house, I would have the same energy anxiety, but I would host everybody. So I just walked in like, let me go and just make sure everyone's being well taken care of. Let me be a good hostess. And the minute I made that shift, it gave me something to do. It gave me a purpose. And I like to say, give me a crutch to lean on. And hey, do you need a drink or anything? I'm getting me one. I didn't have to worry. I could be really present. I didn't have to worry about, did I practice my pitch really well? Did I have my introduction right? Is my tongue not going to work? I didn't have to worry about any of that. And so if you're watching, one of the best tips about relational networking is just jump in and be a hostess and make sure everyone's taken care of, just like Catherine said. And if you see somebody standing alone, don't let them stand alone, not even remotely. I mean, what would you add to that, Catherine?
Those people are the ones I usually walk up to and just stand next to for a minute, because especially if they're like, there was this guy who was 7'2". It's a basketball player. He was at a party and he was standing by himself and he's leaning up against the wall. And of course, I'm 5 foot even. So I'm nowhere near his height. So I pulled a chair over, climbed up in the chair, and just leaned back just like him and just mimicked him for a minute. And he just kind of looked at me, and I just kept looking at the party. And he looked at me again. I said, I just wanted to see what it looked like. And then I stepped down. But he and I developed a relationship from that one experience. So have fun. Just have fun, whatever that means. So whatever the icebreaker is for that moment, if turn around in the elevator, I turn around and face everybody and say, I know you're all wondering why I called you here, or something along that lines. So you just enjoy yourself and people will respond.
I love that. Meredith is loving what you're saying. She was like, Catherine, it was such a pleasure talking to you last week. I think you were in a conversation with Meredith. I know she's been speaking highly of you since. And she's like, LOL, love that image. So she's definitely loving what you're saying. So Meredith, thanks for chiming in. Keep it up. And I think that's really important, that you mirrored people and you made them feel valued, seen, and heard. And that's a really important thing here. So tip number 1, be a hostess, stand next to people that are feeling alone. It makes you not feel alone. It's the smartest thing that you can actually do. And I think the other thing is to just, like you said, is to have fun. I don't know why in my brain I felt early on it had to be A, B, C. Like, there wasn't a D in the rest of the alphabet available to me. It had to be these 3 things. And what I realized is, like, I like Z. I'm just gonna go, because I'm the skip to the end kind of person. Let's just be at Z. Let's just do this differently. And when you do that, and you create wow by giving freely, which is what you're doing by being around those that are alone, everything changes. Everything gets easier, everything gets more fun. And then you didn't overwhelm yourself. You were like, I want to meet 5 people. That's what I want to do. I've told people 3 to 5 if you feel like 3. I'm like, find 3 people and try and learn 3 things about each one of those people. Be a super sleuth. Ask questions, try and learn something about them. And then when you're done with the event and, you get to leave. And I think that's just really brilliant on your part, Catherine, especially if you're an introvert, you're like, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the energy for this. Then you can leave. If you're an extrovert and you're loving it, it makes it very purposeful and intentional, and it just fuels you because you get energy from people, but you're going to be getting a different, more meaningful kind of energy from people. So it serves you no matter where you are on the spectrum of introvert or extrovert. So I feel like that's really important to know. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that as far as, how do you get to, when you're meeting your 5 people, how do you look at, what is your technique, your skill, your question? What do you do to get to know them in a more meaningful way?
Just have a conversation. Don't try to get to know them, get to know them.
Mm.
Just be invested in talking to them, have a conversation with them. It goes back to having fun, enjoy yourself. I've met people at events that, at the after parties, where we're
Mhm.
just laughing, and we laughed so hard we almost cried. And that was 10 years ago, and we still have a relationship from that one encounter. When you expose your heart, and I know that that's scary for a lot of people, but when you expose your heart, it allows you to touch the heart of other people. And that is what creates those meaningful relationships, is being open, being honest, and being authentic. Introverts do have a little more. No, I'll take that back. No, you don't. Quit making excuses. Introverts can get involved and get networking just as much as an
Yes.
extrovert. The trouble that introverts have is that it sucks their energy out. So you have to prepare for that. The trouble that extroverts have is we're like a squirrel. And we have already placed so many nuts in that room, we don't know what we're doing anymore. So we're squirrels on pixie sticks, and we're so revved up that we're, hanging from the ceiling and swinging on the chandelier. So we all have our issues when it comes to networking, but be okay, one, with your issues, know what your issues are, and then be authentic about who you are when you go into these events.
I absolutely love that. That's actually it. When you become more meaningful and purposeful, to your point, then the squirrel shiny object syndrome for the extroverts is calmed down. And for
Mhm.
the introverts, it's less of an energy expense because there's a cap to it. And so one of the superpowers of introverts is they have the ability to be really meaningful, and they do really well on one-to-one. So for my introverts out there, if you were doing this, and I was one who did this to myself, I was always saying, well, I can't network, because I'm an introvert. And then, I was shy, so I was confident. Shyness and introversion aren't the same thing. So I had to separate that. But I stopped saying, I have been uncomfortable up until now. I've been uncomfortable with doing networking. So I was drawing a line in the sand up until now, and to where I could say, I'm going to enjoy talking to one person at a time, and I'm going to meet my 3 people. I'm going to learn my 3 things, and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's just, and play hostess and make it super easy. And I really, really, really like that. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go to the comments because let's see if I can show this on screen. Try something new. Oh, I'm gonna be crazy. Oh my
Yay!
gosh, let's see if I break it.
I
Go ahead.
Well, I do want to say this one thing.
Yeah,
I
please.
want you to realize that here's a secret about networking. All networking is one-on-one.
Hmm.
So
That is.
you're not going to a bunch of people, you're going to go meet one person.
Hmm.
Go meet one person, because you can't go meet 3 people. You go meet one person. And then if you feel up to it, you go meet another person.
I love it. It's one person at a time. That's my mission. I want to help and matter, make a difference to one person at a time. I hope one person watching this is laughing. We've raised their vibrational energy. We've impacted them in a positive way. Then I have accomplished my goal. And that's truly how I've been able to move forward. So I love that you brought that up. And I hope you can see the comment from our dear friend Inger. Happy Wednesday, my lovely friends. Hi, Inger. She's the reason Catherine and I know each other. because I was following Inger. I was kind of being more of a fangirl, stalking her, to be perfectly honest, and just always showing up on her content, and got to meet this wonderful human being. So I very much appreciate you, Inger, for being here and watching, and being in my orbit, and allowing Catherine to come into my orbit as well, because without you, we would not be here right now. So I really love that. And so she's laughing along with us as far as saying, LOL, I like Z too.
See, I don't understand why you people are not taking the whole alphabet. My goal when I go into an event, because you don't know what you're going to encounter when you get there. So if you go prepared, there is no telling what you're going to run into. I am so flexible that I make gymnasts embarrassed because I will go into an event completely prepared to do everything, anything at the drop of a hat. I went to a presentation and I was supposed to use PowerPoint. So I had my PowerPoint. I had it
Yeah.
on backed up on 4 different places because something always messes up. And then they
Contingency
said,
plans are important. I love that about you. Sorry for the interruption. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Continue, please.
well, they give me a room without a screen. So my whole presentation was based around the PowerPoint they asked me to make. And my husband walked in. I was sitting there just wadding up my presentation. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I have a plan." And my visual was trying to hit a moving target or trying to hit a target blind. And I had somebody blindfolded, and everybody got to throw paper wads at them, and they had to dodge the paper wads blindfolded. so, so go into these networking events, know what you want. That's to meet one person.
Mm-hmm.
And stop fretting about the rest of it. Be focused on your goal. Meet one person. Be flexible in the journey to get there.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to show another comment here on screen because I think it just kind of filters in. Meredith was saying, good point. Don't take yourself so seriously so you can have fun. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. And I love that you're giving us permission to focus one person at a time, because that's what I needed to hear. And that's when everything kind of changed. And I think Inger's saying it best. She's saying, Laura, you just used, she goes, you just used my word intentional for 2024. Yeah, if you're intentional and purposeful, things can be meaningful and fun. And so if you're looking for how you can have that, wow advantage, it's listening to all of these tips and applying them and realizing that they can happen in any networking event, but they can happen if you adopt it as a mindset. See, I believe networking is a mindset, a skill in an event. And you can learn the skill of 30-second commercials and working the room and how to sort business. You can learn that. You can go to certain events, meetings, different things. But the mindset of networking is what I have spoken on for over 19 years. And so and what it is if you've got the wrong mindset, if your focus is solely to sell, you are going to be very disappointed. It's going to be a chore. Selling and telling is not networking. Having meaningful conversations is what it's all about, and helping one person at a time, like you've been talking about. And so being intentional is how you get there. So I really love that we said your word there, Inger. That's pretty good.
So why don't we shift it from networking? Let's just we're not going to network anymore. We're going to relationship. We're going to relationship. That's it. We're relationshiping.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I started calling it relational networking. To be fair, I was looking for the name of our company when I was creating Down and Dirty Networking. And I wanted a name that didn't have networking in it, because I knew the default setting and I would have this hurdle for everyone to understand. But every name that I came up with, and I came up with some pretty good ones, I thought, but then the hurdle was, oh, well, what is this? Are we being sold something? Then I had even something better. So I was like, let's be a little cheeky. Let's be a little bit fun, because I wanted people to not take it so seriously, to use kind of Meredith in your words. And so Down and Dirty Networking was born. And so that's when the term, and I said, well, we'll leverage my term that I've used, relational networking, and we'll use it that way and divide that there's 2 ways of approaching it. And we're free of 30-second commercials and all of that. But to your point, it is relationships. And it kind of goes to what's behind me, which are the 3 tenets of our mission, which is to co-elevate, collaborate, and connect. And that's a very intentional order. And so the intention is you have to co-elevate first when you walk into the room, meeting, event, whatever. Or when I was first wanting to develop a relationship with Inger, I co-elevated first. Then that built trust so we could collaborate. And that is how we truly connected. A connection isn't getting a business card. That is not a connection, though that's the word people will use to connect. But that's why I have it in that order. And I know, Catherine, you had a real take on co-elevate. Why don't you share what your thoughts were on that?
Well, for me, co-elevating is helping you see the best you. And I was sharing with you that I have been working with a mother, a homeschool mother, because I homeschooled for 20 years, and moving from that transition of being a mom into what is it that I am truly. So I asked her to write down her perfect day. And her perfect day was getting the kids to here and getting the husband this and getting, and I said, no, 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 no. You need to tell me what ignites your heart. And when we get invested in helping other people ignite their hearts, that's when we start changing the world. And I liked what the whole co-elevate thing, because when you're invested in somebody else, you don't have time to sell them anything.
Absolutely. It just makes it easier, doesn't it? That's where the fun can come in. That's where you leave space and grace for all of that. It makes it so much easier. That's that wow advantage. And when you engage with someone like a Catherine at an event and she's making you feel great, the thing that is that wow advantage is now the reputational capital of Catherine Lang, like with the athlete that you were just, standing next on a chair with to kind of get to the same level. I bet money that the reputational capital with him, you were favorable, and trust was instantly built because you co-elevated, and he would be willing to have a conversation and maybe lean in to collaborate because you built a relationship, because you took the time to invest to truly connect. And that's what I feel is missing. People have it, I think, backwards sometimes, where they say, no, I got the card, so there's a connection, and people are like, where did I meet you? It's like they don't even know, because you didn't leave a lasting impression. You weren't meaningful with them. And so I feel like that's really important for most folks, is to make sure that you realize there's an intentionality even in the way that you approach things, versus following the ABC, jump to Z, shake it up, shake the alphabet up a little bit, just be meaningful and present, and the rest will magically just happen. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. Be invested in other people, and it
Mhm.
will come back to you. It's hard to do in this world because the first thing you're going to hear is, yes, but I have to pay the bills. Well, no, technically you don't. I mean, we can all go live in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, look it up.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, when you start thinking about how am I going to pay the bills, you have shifted away from being in a relationship with people. Marketing, true marketing, is about making friends first. That's a connection, building connections, and then being helpful to those connections. And if you're not doing that, then you are not going to be positioned to be their go to person. And if you try to sell them, they're either gonna be disappointed in the results that they get, or they're going to ignore you.
Oh, beautifully said. Like, put that on a plaque, write it down. I mean, yes, mint that on a coin. Absolutely. They will be disappointed. But so will you. You will be
Yes.
drained. Your reputational capital is tanked. But you're like, oh, but I networked, but it didn't accomplish anything. You didn't truly connect. You might have done
You
the
didn't truly network.
no, you
All
didn't.
you
You
did
might have
is
in the traditional sense.
you were busy with much doing is what you were. You were just busy, and you weren't truly networking, because the truth is that when you are truly networking, you are networking. Networking requires connection and intertwining together. And if you aren't networking, if you're not intertwining, if you're not building those connections, then you not are not truly networking. You were just busy for a couple of hours.
Ugh. My I just have goosebumps over this. The word busy is like nails on a chalkboard for me. It's definitely a triggering word, because busy is not productive. Busy is not effective. Busy is not intentional. And I love that you tied that together, because you are absolutely right. Being busy and doing the thing because you think it's the thing to do, or maybe you were me and you're being obedient. Okay, yay, you were obedient. I give you permission to no longer do that anymore. Throw the rule book out. Really focus on being
You get to
relationship and
make the
present.
rule book. You get to make the rule book. It's your
Yeah.
rule book.
Yeah, the only rule is really to be present. and to make it about them. I mean, that's really, if there is a rule book, don't prejudge someone, just be present, be open to conversation. Full
Yeah.
stop. It is truly that simple. It might not feel easy. You might feel awkward at first. I promise you might sweat profusely, but you won't die when you do it. Whether you're in the virtual space or in the in-person space, you're going to find that it's just so much more fun. And I want to kind of
So
flip.
if you're sweating like that could be one of your intros. You could say, I should not have gone to the sauna before I came here today.
That's a great way to just kind of be an icebreaker. I love that. I love that. I hope I remember that one when I'm able to go back into in-person things. I will have to remember that. That's a good one. Um, and I don't even know where I was going with it anymore. But the
Sorry.
point here is, no, I love that. See, here's the thing: you just be you.
Yeah.
If things fall out of your head, it's okay. And anyone who watches this knows with the diagnosis and things I experience, things are going to fall out of my head. And so that's just what happens. And it's okay. If you are a more real person, you're going to get more real connections, real conversations, real everything else. No one can be perfect. No one wants to be around perfect. No one wants to emulate perfect, but they can be real, and you can care perfectly, and you can connect perfectly by just being you. So I just give permission to everybody to do that. So one of the ways that you can create that connection, and I think this is pretty funny on here on this screen, is laughter. I laughed so much you almost cried. That's easy. That's for you, Catherine. Catherine is great at this, and humor is really, you are so funny, and I love this about you. I just love and adore that about you. So yes, if you
That's what
are,
I keep telling my kids. My kids tell me I'm not, but I tell them they're wrong.
hey, whatever is you. I mean, I'm all about the Star Wars and Grogu. So, do or do not. There is no try. So you don't try now, or you just do it. You just go through, do it. I love that Meredith puts up what she was saying about tweaker squirrel, kind of talking about what we were saying. So I think that's really good. And Inger's kind of acknowledged she's so glad we connected, and I just love what she's doing. But I got to play this one. If you hadn't seen this comment from Inger, I actually imagined gymnast when you said you're flexible, Catherine. Yeah, I may not have a gymnast flexibility, but literally, but I do agree with that as a visual. And you, my friend, are very flexible and make it doing. So Inger had another comment about busy with much doing. Yeah, Catherine Lang. I feel, stay tuned. I may make that our tip Tuesday for Down and Dirty Networking, or our Motivation Monday quote, and quote you on that, because that's how good that is. That's really good. So thank you for that. And then Inger's also saying, you're right, Catherine, we get to choose.
That's right.
It's completely a choice. So one of the questions that I love to not ask, which I used to ask all the time, was, I was so nervous. So I'm like, oh, so how are you? Okay, this is like the worst question to ask when you walk up to somebody. First, it's very stereotypical. Second, you're going to get a superficial answer. You're going to get fine, and then the conversation's dead. Or you're going to get an answer you regret you asked the question to, because someone's going to be, oh, I've had a day. And blah, 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 and they're going to just unload on you the negativity of their day. And you're going to be like, why did I ask this question? So how are you sets the tone that this is the standard kind of networking function. This is how I roll. I don't like that question. So one of the questions I love to ask is something different. And so, Catherine, do you have a question that's kind of like your go-to question that's not the how are you question, or not the what do you do question, that kind of opens things up, other than, hey, I just wanted to see from your viewpoint, like you've already shared?
Well, for the record, if you ask me that, I'm going to say blessed and bold in it, and then just just look at them, go, answer differently. Answer differently. It always makes them look. It always makes them look at you weird. Well, not that I need help for people to look at me weird. That happens anyway. One of the questions I like to ask is, so what do you plan on being when you grow up?
I love that. I
That's
love
great
that.
it's great with adults, because they just kind of go, what? It completely throws if you're in a traditional networking event, it completely throws them off their game. They don't even know where to go with that. They can only have a conversation with you at that point. You have completely
Right.
broken all the traditional fences, and nobody can stay in their lane because you knocked them all down.
Which I love. I totally love that. Another core value here is to talk less and question more, which is why I like leaning into questions. And so One of the questions that I love to lean on is one I learned years ago from speaker Amanda Gore. I cannot take credit for this. It's a great question. And it's my default when my nerves are kicking in. It's the one I lean in on. And so I'd love your answer to this. What's the best thing that's happened to you recently?
Ooh.
It's a good
Oh,
one.
you're asking.
I'm
Uh,
asking you.
I got new stickers today. Don't
New
tell my
stickers.
son.
Okay, tell me more. Stickers for what?
Because I have a focus folder. My focus flexibility planner is something that I do every single day, and it makes me happy to put stickers because I was a homeschool mom, so I have 6,000 stickers still out there. But I like to get ones that are specific for me. So I got motivational quotes on stickers, and I use those to decorate my daily plan. So when I look at my plan, I have inspiration.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I love that so much. I'm gonna need to know your source for stickers because you're speaking my jam right now. So we'll have a side conversation. So I love that is something that happened recently. So here's another question that I like to ask. So I would love your answer to this: is what are you an expert at?
Instigating trouble,
You are my kind of people.
laughing inappropriately.
Yes, I love that. So expand trouble. When you say instigating trouble, what kind of trouble do you like to instigate?
Because when you start thinking outside the box, it
Mhm.
makes people uncomfortable that want you to that are box people. And I don't want to just get you outside the box. I want you to be looking around going, what? There's a box? I don't even want you to recognize there's a box. And when you move people into that place, it challenges most of the things that they have ever known. So I love instigating trouble in that situation. I'm not allowed to do it when my husband's around because he goes, just stop it. Like, but I mean, all I did was ask a question.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm known for the questions. And I was like, oh, I get it. Totally get it. Okay. So I'm going to lead into another question, but I need to ask the first one. Well, I'm going to back up. I'm thinking out loud on this one. So let's do it this way. What is a talent or a hidden talent that you have that you do not use for the thing that pays your bills? So, like in your job business, what's a hidden talent that you have that you don't use to pay the bills?
Pantry cooking.
Okay.
I
I
can
need to know
cook
more.
for a week to a week and a half off what's in the pantry right now. Complete meals,
Really?
3 meals a day. Love it. Love to cook, love the challenge, love trying to do that. And I play the pantry game every couple of months so I can clean out my pantry.
Okay. Explain the pantry game.
That's where you only use what's in your pantry and you make your meals directly from that. So I will go look at the ingredients. I moved that into my planner because I didn't know everybody didn't do this. So I go in, I make a list of everything that's in my pantry, that's in my freezer, that's in my refrigerator, and that's how I decide what's going to be on the menu for the week.
I love that. I may have to play that. That is genius. Oh, see, when you have a more meaningful conversation, you learn things you didn't even know you needed to know. Like, oh my gosh, I needed to know this right now. So this is like totally serving a purpose. So I love that. And apparently that's the case. And I apologize, LinkedIn user. I can't see who you are with the stream, but they're loving this conversation. I will go back and find out who you are on LinkedIn. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. I think this is hilarious. Ingor is giving us visuals. I think it's awesome. I think you should have a T-shirt like this, Catherine. I think maybe if you have a merch store, this should be the image that's on your merch store. I feel like this could be really good. Or maybe you make stickers of this, and this is like your next motivational sticker from Inger. So there you go. And Inger's also saying that we both laugh at inappropriate moments. Yes, I
I
resemble
like
that.
to say I'm an aficionado of inappropriate laughter.
Yes. I love that. Laughter is a coping mechanism for me. Humor is a coping mechanism. I always find the humor in things, so it's how I can move forward. But yes, laughing inappropriately. Like I don't know why it is, but when I'm at, if someone starts giggling at church and you're not supposed to laugh, then you laugh more.
Mm-mm. I'm gonna laugh out loud, and I try not to. We started a new church a few months ago, and we knew the pastor, and he stopped me after the third week. And he said, "I don't mind you laughing, but you got to quit laughing out loud because he is a squirrel chaser just like me. We're identical human beings, except he's a
Oh, that's
guy."
funny.
And so when I laugh at his jokes, because I get every one of them, he starts telling more. and he forgets to preach. So he's completely off script at that point. And the guy up there in the sound booth trying to do the PowerPoint presentation's completely lost and he didn't know what to do. And everybody that's trying to fill out their little forms are kind of like going, "Oh, what was point two? What was point two?" Meanwhile, he has gone straight down the rabbit hole and we may never see him again.
I love
So
that.
I have to be careful where I laugh out loud.
Yeah, I try to moderate it too. So Inger, I openly am aware that I laugh appropriately, but it is what it is. There is my authentic. And so our LinkedIn person is like, I have one full pantry to cook from. I mean, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. You have one full pantry to cook from. Okay, so we know the hidden talent, your ability to cook a pantry, which I didn't even know was a thing that I needed to know. So what is the thing you love most about what you do?
I love encouraging people. I love using words. That is probably the biggest thing is I love using words in written and spoken form. Although talking is my favorite form, and my husband encourages it as much as possible outside the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also love written words. So sharing words that encourage, lift up, motivate, spur on, and most importantly, help you find you. I hate seeing people that can't find you. So sharing words of encouragement and hope are my go-to jam.
I love that. And you are so good with that. And one of the things that I know and that I love to do, aside from connecting people and having meaningful conversations, is providing value. So if you're watching this and you've stayed through this conversation, first of all, thank you. Thank you very much for playing along with us and tuning in and just leaning into the brilliance that is Catherine as our winner from our first timer, drawing from their virtual sneak peek. But I know that Catherine has a goal and she doesn't know that I'm going to do this. So I need your help to help Catherine. And what she's got a goal right now to get 10,000 new eyeballs on her website. So if you have a tip, if you've done this, if you know somebody who has been able to do this and you've got a tip for Catherine, drop it in the comments, private message me or connect with Catherine and private message her. But if you private message Laura Orlando or you private message Down and Dirty Networking, I will make sure Catherine gets it. I promise. I pinky swear. I will make sure that she gets it. But all tips are welcome because one of the things and the brilliance of relational networking is being able to tap into the shared brain power. She can continue trying to do it on herself and throw mud at the wall type of a strategy. And as a marketer and as a marketing consultant, I tell my clients it's the worst strategy ever. I know it because I've done it. It doesn't work.
And it makes a mess.
Then there's that. Yes, it's just, and you can never clean it off. Then that happens. So if you've got experience ideas of where we can help her, please drop it in the comments, DM me a message, and let's get that over to Catherine so we can help her out. That will be more powerful to her in the long run than had she said, here's my pitch, buy my stuff. I promise you, because I've done this and I've made this shift. So, Catherine, is that helpful? If we're able to solve that problem or get you more eyeballs or give you a solution, how helpful would that be for you?
I'm not going to cry on screen, but I will probably cry after you close down because that is so touching, and that's what relationship building does is it speaks to the heart. And the more comfortable we are speaking to the heart of each other, the more we know ourselves, the more we can speak to from our heart, and the more we can speak from our heart, the more we can touch the heart of each other. And that's how we create these opportunities. I would not have normally said that. And you saw me hesitate when you said, "What can I do for you?" I hesitated because I'm not big on asking other people because I didn't know. I didn't know me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I knew 20 years ago I wanted to be an encourager. And I had somebody that was really good, really smart, guru say, "You can't make a living doing that." And I just decided I don't really care what he said. This happened about 2 years ago. Yeah, I won't go into my story, but let's just say y'all think the quarantine was bad? Try a tornado on your house while you're in it. And and I said, "I'm done. I am not backing away from it. I have a gift for encouragement, and I'm going to be an encourager, and your willingness to invest in that truth of mine made all the difference in my life."
I love that. Inger's sending some love to both of us on this one. So I completely agree. And your story is a remarkable story. It's a story of resilience, and it definitely shows your character. And I just admire you so much. And it's why I was gravitating towards you when I heard what your story was, and then just the way that you present. I mean, I very much resonate with you. So thank you for being you. Thank you for persevering, and thank you for throwing that horrible advice out the window, because let's be honest, that was crap. And so I'm grateful that you threw that away. Otherwise, you and I wouldn't be in our orbit. You would be doing something else, and you would probably be maybe not so happy and less and more miserable. I'm not entirely sure. But I would say, if there's someone watching, and Inger saying, great conversation. Thank you, Inger. If someone's watching and they're thinking like you, that maybe literally a tornado has fallen on them, or metaphorically, they're feeling like that, what would you say to them?
I can't stress enough the power of knowing you. When you know who you are and you know what it is that you're uniquely crafted to do, it changes your perspective. You quit needing to sell. You quit needing to have someone else give you permission to do it your way. Right now, I'm going to give you a permission to do it however you want, because nobody else can define your path. They've never walked it.
Yep.
They don't know you. They can't know you. They can't know your path because their path is different from yours. Learn from everybody, but make it your own.
I think Inger's saying it best, that this is so special. I feel like that is just the great way to sum everything up. You never know when you're going to have that lightning in a bottle moment. And for those of you sitting there, maybe you just happened to cross the stream and you're like, Catherine is amazing. You're right. I'm glad you tuned in, but there's a reason that this captured you. And there's a reason you're hearing this. There's something within this that you need to hear. So be open to it. Take faithful action on it, and say, and by faithful, there's a broad meaning of that. Have faith in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have faith in yourself that you will figure it out, even if you don't know how. I believe when the why is strong enough, the how will follow. Don't worry about how yet. Just, I'm going to move forward. I'm glad I laughed. I raised my vibrational energy. And what I will say with you on this is, physical energy can do this, but your vibrational energy can always go up. Unless you're taking a nap through the course of the day, your physical energy is constantly decreasing. And I'm a full proponent and supporter of naps, just so you know. So yes, take naps when you can, but your vibrational energy is something you should protect. And you should always surround yourself with people that are going to increase your vibrational energy. So no matter how much pain, no matter how much fatigue I might be in, I can be intentional about the vibrational energy I set out, because that's what I'm going to get back, and the people I'm going to surround myself with. So Inger, if you're still watching, it's why I continue to surround myself with you. You, my friend, with your whole Ubuntu and vibrational energy, makes me better. Catherine,
Yep.
it's the same reason I'm gravitating towards you. You have really good vibrational energy. I always learn something from you. I always feel better when I'm around you. And that is the point. If you can be intentional, like being the hostess, I'm going to go raise somebody's vibrational energy. I'm going to smile. I'm going to say a compliment. I'm going to do anything. Then that mindset of networking is not just the event. You guys have probably heard the video. You can ask me later in the DMs, but I have a great story about the corporate workshop that I did, and a gentleman really connecting with a checkout clerk in the express checkout lane, and how, because I forced him to do homework that he had to do, it totally changed his perspective on having meaningful conversations. It can happen anywhere, anywhere. So if you're got a full plate, if you feel like when it rains, it pours, and it's pouring down rain on you right now, then adopting this mindset, laughing, connecting, co-elevate, all of these tips that you've heard today will really, really make a difference for you. So what would be your final thoughts here, Catherine, as we're wrapping up on everything that we've shared, for the person that's sitting there going, this is great, but I'm still not connecting the dots for myself, how I can apply this?
You live what you focus on. So if you are focused on having fun, making friends, and being relentlessly helpful, that's what's going to be your life.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And what's the best social media platform for people to connect with you if they're so excited to do so?
I am everywhere. So LinkedIn or Facebook, I am CatherineLang.com. CatherineLang.com is my website. So, but I'm Catherine Lang everywhere. I don't try to hide. Not that I could, my hair alone announces me when I come in the room. I want to connect with you because I know that you are an amazing person and you're here on purpose for a purpose. And when you recognize and lean into your purpose, you will change the world.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. And I feel like this sums it up too. Just make it a verb going forward. Yeah. It's about taking the action. It's about moving forward. It's about permission granted. It's about the activity that you have. So
Somebody said Monday that they're a verb person, action verb. Be an action verb. Be invested in others. Be excited about others, and be co-elevating each other.
I love how you tied that in. And now I'm going to show my age. One of my most favorite things growing up was Schoolhouse Rocks.
Yes.
And you just said action verb. I was one of my favorite. Was the
Yes.
action verb skit. Now I'm going to go find it. I'll post it. But you're right.
Oh, we had the videos. We can sing them. My whole family, my boys can sing them. We know them that well.
It is the only reason I passed having to memorize the preamble, because I could sing it. Still can.
Well, according to Sheldon, singing, I think it was Sheldon that said singing is one of the best ways to remember. So memory is really triggered by singing, by music. So if you put it to music, you'll remember it. That's why you can remember song lyrics, but you can't remember where your car keys are.
Yeah, maybe I should have my car keys sing to me. Maybe that'll be the trick. Maybe you've just created a whole new product, and I don't know, Catherine, you're just such a genius. I absolutely love that. And I love this Inger saying here, shine, Catherine, shine. And you have shined this entire time. So I absolutely agree, Inger, on that one. So thank you so much. And she's like, saying thank you to me. So I appreciate that. And she says, hide it under a bushel. No?
No.
You gotta love that.
I burn that bushel down.
Yep. You just got to sometimes just let it go. Let it go. And it's just not even a thing. Well, Catherine, it's been a pleasure. Everyone, make sure you drop in the comments, find a way, and I will connect you with Catherine, and give your best practices on how she can get 10,000 eyeballs on her website, solutions, ideas that you have, things that have worked for you, things that would draw you towards a website are also really great tips, because it might be something she hasn't thought about. And she's like, oh my gosh, that is so simple and obvious. I need to execute on that. Because that's typically what will happen, is the thing that's right in front of us we can't see when we're so in it. And so I hope that's your takeaway for networking. If you've really just disliked it, you've dreaded it, you've avoided it, hopefully this discussion with Catherine has changed your mind. There are amazing people out there like Catherine, amazing people like Meredith and Inger and everyone watching. They're just waiting for you to come and talk to them. They're waiting for you to have a conversation. So Catherine, thank you so much. I'm going to send you to the green room. So hang on that for me there. Thank you so much, my friend. Everyone, wasn't she amazing? I mean, oh my gosh, I could just keep going on and on and on. Well, because I could, but it's Catherine, and I could just keep laughing, and I could just keep learning and keep growing with her. Hopefully your vibrational energy increased during the span of this networking know-how. And so if you are looking for a way, that secret advantage to make sure that you are creating that wow opportunity for you, the way to do that is through relational networking. So that's how you create that wow advantage. That was the word I was looking for, the wow advantage. And that's how you raise your vibrational energy, is by engaging in relational networking. It's how you build relationships. It's how you connect. It's how you co-elevate, collaborate, and connect. So thank you guys. Get up in the chat. Give a lot of love to Catherine on how great it was to learn from her tonight. And congratulations, Catherine, for being our first time winner at our sneak peek and winning the drawing and coming on live with me. And for those of you that want to learn more about Catherine or learn more about networking, just drop a comment, learn more, and I will give you some resources to connect you to Catherine, but also give you some resources that you can use for free for just different ways that you can network in a way that's more authentic to you. So with that, Inger's saying, make it an awesome week further, my friends. And I agree. Thank you so much for watching Networking Know-How. I go live every Wednesday afternoon, sometime between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So tune in, make sure you've got notifications on however you're watching this, so you'll know when we go live, and you might meet some amazing people like Catherine, and who knows, you might see her again soon too. All right, bye for now, my networking friend. Make it a great week. And make it an awesome week connecting.